so many moving parts in this because there's a lot of positions available, but there's a lot of top quality strikers available in the market. So
That's it.
your dream move is not necessarily guaranteed. So Harry Kane's dream move is Manchester City. Mbappe's dream move is Real Madrid. But by the actions of Haaland, both their dream moves could be ruined. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Secure the Bag OT. We've had a lot of game action over the last couple of days, some interesting results, and we'll get into that in another vid, hopefully, and really get into those results. But today's OT is a bit more specific, and it's on a piece of news coming from one of the most wanted players in European football. Matt, how else can you describe Haaland?
Probably one of the best young talents coming up. People like to describe him and Mbappe as the next Messi and Ronaldo, but I don't really see Mbappe there, like I've said in previous videos. But I think Haaland is one of those guys that can get to that status, with all the stuff that he showed in the last couple of years at Borussia Dortmund and playing for the Norwegian team. So yeah. This video is about Haaland and the statement he put out, I think it was about a couple of days ago, where he declared he doesn't want to come to the Premier League and he prefers the La Liga. So, Jackson, do you want to start us off? What clubs do you reckon he can realistically pick from?
Yeah, so this is interesting because it's almost like, in his own words, he's almost implying that his only real options are La Liga and the Premier League. He hasn't mentioned Serie A in there, or Bundesliga, or PSG. And I mean, I've said this before. I think I got into a debate in another vid with Anthony that, Bayern could take him, that Bayern might come in for Haaland. Yeah. But I don't think Bayern pay those kind of fees for him. They're not going to give him those kind of wages because the club's it's got pretty strong values and it's got a strong wage structure. They're not just going to throw it all out of tune for Haaland, no matter how good he is.
Yeah. I mean,
Serie A is not good enough, so it's not an option.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, just to go back on that, the history's there with Bayern Munich taking players from Borussia Dortmund, but yeah, like you said, with their wage structure, they're not going to spend this copious amount of money on Erling Haaland when they've got Robert Lewandowski. They've got other good strikers up front that are good now and that can produce results now. So
yeah, there is no world in which Haaland goes to Bayern and gets paid more than Lewandowski.
No,
there is no scenario where that's allowed to happen at Bayern Munich. So
that's never allowed to happen.
Yeah. So that leaves no other team in Bundesliga.
No other team's good enough in Bundesliga to get him. Or he wouldn't go to another team like that. Serie A, I mean, there's Juve, but he hasn't really said anything about going there or going to Serie A. Liga 1, it's only really PSG there. Like he's not going to go to a Monaco. He's not going to go to a Lille. He's not going to go to a Toulouse. So yeah, it's really only the Premier League and the La Liga. And the La Liga, I would say there's only three main teams that could be appealing for him, but there's really only two. I mean, the three that I'm talking about are Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Villarreal. Atletico Madrid.
Oh, Villarreal, the best day they've ever had in their lives. Haaland, he wants to play. He heard that they drew with Manchester United. So he's like, oh, hell yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. No, Atletico Madrid. Yeah. I thought I'd sneak that in there just to get a bit of laughter from you, Jackson. Bit of reaction from the audience.
So yeah, I think we can. Personally, I'd exclude Atletico at all.
That's why I said there's three possible teams, but there's definitely two outshining teams, which are Barcelona and Real Madrid.
It would be just two if we assume, but you wonder, he's got more options than that. If the Premier League was more interesting to him, he would have Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester United, and Manchester City are all teams that I could imagine him going to and being great, but he just rules them out. But the question is why? Why does Haaland dislike the Premier League? Now, the actual statement in the news article was like, well, the Premier League's just not in a great state for Haaland right now. What does that mean, though? It's hard to say what that actually means. Is it just he dislikes the way it's played in the Premier League? Or he's a physical player. I don't think he'd be scared of Premier League football.
Is it the fact that
Matt,
that goals are easier to come by in the Bundesliga, or it's easier to perform in the Bundesliga? Because you can sort of interpret that in two ways. You can interpret it the performance of the players, the performance of what's going on the pitch, or you can interpret it with, I guess, the COVID situation that's going on right now. Like, which one is he talking about? Is he talking about, well, an OT that we talked about last week where, say, 16% of players aren't vaccinated? Is he talking about that type of situation? Or is he talking about a situation where, maybe the goals in the Premier League are a bit harder to score than the goals in the Bundesliga. Therefore, his stats will go down if he goes to the Premier League. It's sort of something that we don't really know what he's implying at the moment, but it's something that will be a crucial factor for him to decide whether he goes to the Premier League or
not. I could be maybe that Premier League clubs that he has talked to or has been contacted by are not offering the wages he wants. So he's just discounting it.
That's also a possibility because he's asking for ridiculously high wages. I think it was like $1 million a week or something.
And look at the Liverpool Salah situation. So you immediately know that would be the case absolutely for Liverpool. They would refuse to offer Haaland those wages. I don't know about Chelsea as much. Matt, could you see, Rudiger, with the Rudiger situation, you'd say that Chelsea isn't willing to randomly throw out its wage structure for individual players. But do you think Chelsea would be the kind of club to go and pay Haaland $1 million a week?
I think we'd pay Haaland, but I don't think we'd pay him $1 million a week. I mean, there's guys on this Chelsea team at the moment that are currently better than him that should be getting more than what he is getting. So I don't think he should be coming into the team and just getting $1 million a week. Because he's been a good performer for the last 3 years. But
it's about the team.
Yeah, you don't want to bring someone in and ruin your team dynamic.
Yeah,
because
that was what people thought would happen with Zuma. Because Zuma came in, and the rumors were that, I think these are fake because he's getting nowhere near paid this amount. The rumors were that he was going to become the highest paid player at West Ham, something upwards of 120,000 a week. And that was like disturbing the dressing room. I've seen nothing like that. The rumors, but it's a reminder that yes, wage structures are important for keeping a team happy.
The thing with Zuma going to West Ham is that Zuma brings to the team that second defensive anchor in the centre back position, someone that you guys really needed and you guys benefited from this season so far. So you guys were in fifth. Your highest was fourth place as well. You benefited from having Zuma as a centre back. So you look at the Haaland situation, you bring him in, he's going to be able to score goals and stuff like that for whatever team he goes to. But what's the team dynamic going to be like when they pay a 20-something-year-old a bloody $1 million a week contract?
And I can't, but having said that, we've established that both Liverpool and Chelsea would have some sort of wage structure that they're not willing to throw out entirely. Man City, no, I can imagine Man City. Man City
would, because they're looking for a striker now, especially since Ferran Torres just moved to Barcelona. I think it was for 55 million plus 10 million to Man City. So they're definitely looking for a striker. And Pep's come out and he said that he is looking for a dedicated striker now. I mean, we saw it last year when they tried to poach Harry Kane from Tottenham and it fell through. So who's to say that they might go for Harry Kane again this the end of this season, but they could also go for Haaland as well. But maybe Haaland is the first option and Harry Kane if Haaland falls through, something like that. If Haaland wants to come to the Premier League, I think Man City will be one of the places that really push for him, especially seeing that I'm pretty sure there was a photo of him when he was younger wearing a Man City jersey, was it? Yeah. So he's already got ties to the club.
But there's the thing, and another benefit for their wage structure will be the fact that, we're talking about players like Lewandowski at Bayern needing to be high up in the wage structure. But at Man City, a lot of those players who would have been those leaders, the old boys that would be high up the wage structure, Aguero, Company, Silva, they're all gone.
Retired,
they're all gone. Yeah. So it's almost a chance to redo the wage structure without having those big boys that have to be at the top, who who have done a real service for the club and are not going to accept some youth jumping ahead of them in the wage structure.
But then my question to that is then, what do you do with the players that are playing well now and that are shining now at Man City? Like, what do you do with their wages if Haaland comes in and he gets paid? Like, look at Cancelo. Cancelo's been providing assists this year. He scored a goal or two. Like he's been pretty decent as a defender, right? Pretty decent at like an attacking left/right back, whichever side he plays on, whatever week the game's on. But you look at him and you think, well, he's performing now for them. He's working well in their structure. Haaland's never played in their structure before, and you're just going to come in and give him the price that he's asking for.
They're probably the most likely to do it. Of course, it would still cause friction. You're right. Yeah. There are still players in there that would probably be like, oh, I don't know about that. But they're the more likely to do it. Man United might as well. I don't know as much.
I don't know about Man United, especially now they've got Ronaldo there. And they've got Ronaldo, and I guess Cavani might leave at the end of this season.
Cavani leaves. Ronaldo's only on a 2-year deal.
Rashford's still there.
3-year deal. Yeah, but I think Haaland would. I don't think Rashford's so much of a problem. I definitely think Ronaldo is. If you brought in Haaland and was like, he somehow surpassed Ronaldo, that would stir up.
Oh, yeah. I'm just talking about options to have it at the striker position.
The position, they are in less need. Yeah, they're in less need. Yeah.
But I wouldn't put it past them to go after them. But yeah, I do see Man City as being the likely team in the Premier League if Haaland was to go to the Premier League.
Yeah. But he's ruled it out. He's gone, I don't want to go there. So when you think about it, so if Man City are the main option, right, that we can think of, it must have something to do with Man City as to why Haaland does not want to go to the Premier League. If that's his realistic Premier League move, he's not liked that move. Now, why? It's interesting. I'm not really sure as to why that would be. I don't really know why he doesn't have issues with Guardiola. Maybe.
Do you think? Sorry, just butt in. Do you think it's something that to do with how Pep brings players in and sort of slightly shifts their role or slightly shifts the position of what he wants from them? Do you think that's something to have effect on? Because maybe he might shift him over to, I guess, sort of a bit further out of the goal, maybe like a bit of a winger position and keep Gabby Jesus in the middle or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, or is it something to do with the formation or how he wanted to deploy him?
I would look less at the formation. It's possible how he played. It could be possible, but I'd almost try go to his relations with a manager. Haaland has always sort of played in teams where he's very quickly become bigger than the manager.
Yeah, that's it.
He would not be bigger than Guardiola.
No.
Guardiola would be able to be controlling over Haaland, and maybe that's not something Haaland probably loves that freedom that he gets from being a bigger personality, a bigger figure than the manager. And maybe at Real Madrid, I mean, Ancelotti's sort of a calm, hands-off sort of guy. He's a tactician, but Guardiola's in your face. He's like, you got to change this, you got to do this. We got to get you playing the game differently. Ancelotti is a bit older. He's not quite so much. At Napoli, he would just sit on the training ground eating pasta on the sideline. He's like, I'm in Italy. What do you want me to do? So maybe that's more attractive to Haaland. But that leads us to, if we accept that Man City has that move, so that leaves 3 moves then that you would say is possible based on what you said before.
Yeah.
Man City, Barcelona, Real Madrid.
I can't rule out like a freak move or something like that to say Chelsea throwing out their wage structure or Liverpool throwing out their wage structure, because it's not there's a slight chance of it happening, but it could happen. I mean, there's like Tuchel was the Borussia Dortmund manager for a while. I mean, he knows the Borussia Dortmund system and stuff like that. I don't know if him and Haaland crossed over with their time there, but it'll be a very slim chance. So yeah, I am saying that there are those 3 big teams, the Man City, the Real Madrid and the Barcelona, but I'm not ruling out that he could go to one of the other smaller teams.
Yeah.
But it's a very slim chance.
Yeah, slim chance. So if we work on that being a slim chance, near none, that leaves, so Real Madrid, Barcelona, Man City. Now, Barcelona is probably very dodgy as an option for Haaland now.
Definitely. definitely.
not really financially possible for Barcelona.
It's basically not possible. It's not possible for them to get him right now.
And that's, I mean, I think he'd fit into the team though. He might shove out of the way players like Ansu Fati, but he just scores goals in the team. I think that he'd be a great figure for Barcelona on the pitch. Do you see? There's no reason to think he wouldn't be great in the team if they could sign him.
Well, that's it. Yeah, I mean, he could go into Barcelona and be one of the top players at Barcelona because look at their team. Like they're having money problems. They don't have the best players there. They don't have the players they had, say, 5 years ago, say 3 years ago. They don't have the players they had there. So he can definitely go in there and score. I mean, he has the talent to be at the same level as Ansu Fati and to surpass Ansu Fati. Like he probably has surpassed him being in the Bundesliga, but in the La Liga, he has the same talent to just be injected into the team and play like him. But you got to look at Barcelona's young talents as well. Like it's not like they've got money problems, but they're trying to keep guys like Pedri. They're trying to keep guys like Gavi. They're trying to keep all their young core and stuff like that as well. So it's more of a fact that if they get them in now, then it gives him time to work with these younger guys and all of them to develop together. But the money situation is their problem.
Yeah. But it would almost be like this is what Barcelona has to do. If the Ronaldo Messi comparison for Mbappe and Haaland is accurate in the future, Real Madrid getting Mbappe, Barcelona almost have to get Haaland if they want to keep relevant this day and age. Like the money problems will knock them out for 5 years, but if Haaland and Mbappe don't go to La Liga, it's a disaster for La Liga because I think nobody really cares about La Liga this season.
Well, yeah, like I could say about 5 6 years ago, I was fully into La Liga. Like I could name all, but pretty much the whole squad for Barcelona and Real Madrid, even Atletico. Now, mate, I can barely name half of them because it's not the level that it used to be. Like you look at the Premier League, you look how much that's brought up, and you could ask. I guess the same for you. You could ask us any team in the Premier League. We could spit out 4 or 5 guys on the spot. But say if I asked you Villarreal, could you spit 4 guys out?
Not well.
Exactly.
Not well.
But if I asked you Crystal Palace, could you give us 4 guys from Palace?
Yeah, I could give you.
Exactly.
But that's to be fair. I mean, we do love Premier League football most, but there's definitely an imbalance in La Liga between a couple teams and everyone else. So they just put in a new financial deal in La Liga to sort of shift money into the rest of the team's infrastructure and sort of build them up. But right now, that's not Haaland's concern. He needs the immediate money, and the immediate money isn't there at Barcelona.
Exactly.
$1 million. I mean, they couldn't even register their new signings from last summer. They're not going to go and get $1 million a week for Haaland and somehow be fine with that. No. And his agent came out and said, we'll just wait for a year when Barcelona is good. No, there's no good in a year. This is years of financial mismanagement. It's going to be a while. So I think, can we rule out Barcelona? I rule out Barcelona. I do not see Haaland going to Barcelona.
I would. Yeah. I would, purely based on they don't have the funds for him. Purely, yeah.
So if that means that he's ruled out Man City himself and we are ruling out Barcelona because of their financial situation, that just leaves Real Madrid. But that leaves an interesting dilemma for Real Madrid and might set off events across European football because that means you've got Mbappe and Haaland both sort of targeting, eyeballing the same club. Now, if you were Real Madrid, you've got Mbappe on a free, or you've got Haaland for maybe 70 million. What are you going to pick? And
the important thing to note is you can't get both of them.
You can't get both. Yeah, so let's say you can't get both. You have to pick one or the other. So, Matt,
exactly.
Which one do you pick?
Well, I know Kylian Mbappe has had some strong links to Real Madrid over the years, and he's blatantly come out and said that he wants to go to Real Madrid, like he wants to be a player at Real Madrid. But look, you look at both of the contracts and both of their playing forms and everything that's been going on over the last couple of years. If I'm Real Madrid, I'm paying that 70. I'm getting Haaland. I'm getting Haaland because I think Haaland is a better prospect than Mbappe. I think Mbappe's hit a plateau at the moment, and I don't know if he's gonna ever recover from that plateau, if he's gonna ever improve. But I do think Haaland's just gonna keep going up and up and up and up, and that's why the people have made that Messi/Ronaldo comparison to him, because he's got the talent there. He just needs a team, and he needs a platform, more of a platform, a higher platform to show off what he's been doing at Borussia Dortmund in another league to show that he's a certified player. So I'd take Haaland. I wouldn't go with Mbappe. Yeah, I'd take Haaland.
I wouldn't be so hard on Mbappe. I think that the situation at PSG right now is not really great for him. I think he'll find an entire new lease on life if he goes to a Real Madrid. I think Mbappe will begin to realize what we expect of him a bit more and really carry that team to maybe some new silverware. But to pick, I'd almost say Real Madrid, while not in bad financial states, really need to stay away from Haaland and Raiola, stay away from that absolute monster of a wage figure. Mbappe's for free. He's nowhere near going to ask for the same level of wages because he really wants to play for the club. The difference is Mbappe, I always got the sense he just loved Real Madrid. That's where he wants to play.
He did.
Haaland, everything Haaland does is like a mind game to increase his wage because it's Mino Raiola acting for him. So,
I'm pretty sure Mbappe's brother plays for one of the youth squads for Real Madrid as well. Yeah. So there's more of an appeal for Mbappe to go there. Yeah. And I mean, Mbappe is probably the likely decision for Real Madrid. But if I was the manager for Real Madrid, or if I was in the club for Real Madrid, I'd go for Haaland because, there's going to be money problems anywhere he goes. Like one team is just going to have to take the hit. I mean, it might not be the money that he's asking for, but they're going to have to take some substantial hit from him. And I mean, Barcelona's not going to do it. They don't have the money for it. If Man City do it, they're going to take a hit. Any team that he goes to is going to take a hit from the wage that he's expecting to get and what he might actually get, even though he might actually get might be a little less than what he's asking for. They're still going to take a hit from it. So I'd say just bite the bullet and go for him, and he'll pay off what he's going to ask for.
So that leaves an interesting dilemma then. If Haaland was the one who got into that Real Madrid move, suddenly an interesting question emerges. Mbappe becomes a free agent in 2022 in June. Where does he go? He spent years pining for that Real Madrid move, and suddenly that's not available. Well, that position won't be available for years.
Well, the thing is, if Haaland goes there, the hypothetical situation you just put out, I mean, the people that have always made those comparisons would want to see him go to Barcelona, but I don't think that's the case.
So we'll rule that out as well.
I think Mbappe goes to the other option that Haaland has ruled out himself. I think Mbappe goes to Man City. I think Guardiola goes for Mbappe because, like I said, he does need that striker role. And if he doesn't get Harry Kane, because Harry Kane is now been starting to come a bit to form, scoring underneath Conte.
He still wants to leave, though.
He still wants to leave, though. But I wouldn't put it past Pep to go for Mbappe to at least put some interest into him. I mean, hell, Pep put some interest into Ronaldo before he got poached by Man United. So I wouldn't put it past him to go for Mbappe at least.
It's interesting because when you think about it, right now with several teams needing a striker, you've got Barcelona who are like getting linked to players like Aubameyang. And Ferran Torres signed because they want forwards. Real Madrid are in the market for a forward. Man City are in the market for a forward. I actually think Liverpool are in the market for a forward for Firmino. I think Chelsea, because Lukaku is terrible and so they're in the market. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
Don't be so hard on Romelu.
Okay. Not Manchester United. Yeah. No. All right. So that actually means that you've actually got all these moving pieces. The moment if Haaland goes to Real Madrid, Mbappe needs a new club. Let's say Manchester City go for him. Suddenly that means Harry Kane's transfer is off. If he still wants to go, he's got to force a move somewhere else. Exactly. He's got to force a move, and maybe that's a tough one. Harry Kane wouldn't, like, what other club appeals to him? There's so many moving parts in this because there's a lot of positions available, but there's a lot of top quality strikers available in the market. So
that's it.
Your dream move is not necessarily guaranteed. So Harry Kane's dream move is Manchester City. Mbappe's dream move is Real Madrid. But by the actions of Haaland, both their dream moves could be ruined.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a chain reaction, or it's a chain effect. If someone that does something will set off a system of events, or a recurring system of events that could change completely, what guys want completely. And also saying that is, where would Kane go? Obviously there are teams that appeal, that need strikers and that need players.
He wants silverware.
But he wants silverware. Where does he go?
Yeah. Maybe Liverpool. Liverpool might be the best shout for him. He wouldn't go to a Chelsea. It's just not on.
I don't think he'd fit in a Chelsea. That's the thing.
No,
I don't think he'd fit in
and he wouldn't go.
No.
He wouldn't go. He's not going to another London club. No. So in that case, I'm gonna get a prediction from you then, Matt. Assuming that Harry Kane, Mbappe, and Haaland all transfer in next summer, which would be a massive Sunday. We'll have to do stuff for that because that'll be an interesting summer transfer window. Assuming all three of them move, predict me the club for each that they're going to end up in next season.
Okay. Well, this is a tough one because either way you go, it's going to be a change.
I'll let the one caveat I'll let is Mbappe becomes a free agent. He can re-sign for PSG. That is a possibility. So remember, that's a possibility that can happen. He's expiring, so any transfer anywhere would count as a move. So he could just move back to PSG. But assuming Mbappe leaves Dortmund, Harry Kane leaves Manchester City. Tottenham. He leaves Tottenham. Go on. What do you got?
Okay. I want to say Haaland's going to sign with City, but he's ruled out the Premier League, so it's more likely he's going to go to La Liga. I think, and I'm probably going to get stick for this, Haaland to Real Madrid. I think Mbappe re-signs with PSG, and I think Harry Kane makes the move to Man City.
Okay. All right. I'm actually going to say that Real Madrid are going to get Mbappe. Yeah. Mbappe is going to go to Real Madrid. I'm going to say that Haaland has to reopen and reconsider a move to the I don't think he's going to go to PSG, so it's going to be the Premier League. And it's actually going to be that you're going to have Harry Kane and Haaland probably going to be the ones competing for that Manchester City striker position. And I think Haaland would sign for Manchester City. And Harry Kane, his best option is probably to go abroad. Or stay at Tottenham. And if we're saying he doesn't stay at Tottenham, it'll be going abroad. He could be a Barcelona player. If they just sorted out their finances, he would ask for less wages. But Harry Kane will absolutely be in limbo. But I think it has to be abroad because the only option at home is Liverpool. And it'll be a 50-50 whether they'd take him or not. I'm not sure if he fits that system.
I don't think he does. No.
Yeah.
I mean, just listening to your prediction, I think that's the more likely out of the two. But you know me, I like to get. I like controversial predictions. Okay?
It depends what Real Madrid do. Whatever Real Madrid do,
that's it. It's going to decide. It's going to be.
It's hard to say.
Real Madrid. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for watching. That's been us. Just thought we'd have a little discussion on the Haaland incident and his thoughts and some predictions on what's to come. Sorry, Matt. None of these players are coming to Chelsea anytime soon.
Federico Chiesa.
Not the next Messi or Ronaldo. You'll just have to make Lukaku good. So good luck to you.
He scored. He's going to come back to form.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I'm calling it. He's in. Well, guys, thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys in the preview coming up this weekend. Peace.
Gotcha.